Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a great day and above all else, trying to looking after yourselves and one another. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to another segment of Album Spotlight. Now, the band I'm going to be talking about today in Album Spotlight, I've mentioned briefly on another episode of Album Anniversaries that I did with Ken and Jim a few months back. The band are Be Bop Deluxe, and the album up for discussion in Album Spotlight is Sunburst Finish. Now, just a bit about the band. Be Bop Deluxe were formed in Wakefield, West Yorkshire, in England in 1972. Upon forming, the band quickly signed to Harvest Records being the home of Pink Floyd, among other bands. Between 1974 and 1978, Be Bop Deluxe released 5 studio albums, most notably Futurama in 1975, produced by Roy Thomas Baker, and another album that I would see pop up on searches on Amazon is Axe Victim. Of course, with the iconic cover with artwork done by Mick Rock. Now, with regards to Sunburst Finish, it is the band's third release. It is a follow-up to Futurama, released in 75. Again, album was produced by Roy Thomas Baker, who at the same time was producing A Night at the Opera for Queen. Sunburst Finish was released in February of 76, produced by John Lakey and band frontman Bill Nelson. Now, John Lakey would go on to produce such artists as XTC in the late 70s. Sunburst Finish has an overall playing time of 39 minutes and 47 seconds, and there was one single released from Sunburst Finish that hit the UK charts. That single is Ships in the Night, which reached number 23 in the UK chart. Now, I was interested to find out, no, it was interesting for me to find out, sorry, that um, Ships in the Night is considered to be the only single that really charted high for the band. And I was quite surprised by that, considering the fact that the band had released, 5 albums from the, mid to late 70s. And Be Bop Deluxe were pretty much, darlings of the critics, but in terms of wide commercial success, they always seem just to be under the radar, you know. And I just found out about this band about 3 years ago. And, upon listening to this album for album anniversaries, and I wanted to do an album discussion spotlight, oh, sorry, on this release. Now, this album is listed as art rock and prog pop. And in listening to this album, I would have to agree. It is eclectic in terms of style, in terms of musical arrangements, and it's very hard to pinpoint um, where this band is coming from and, musically, the message they were trying to convey to the public. And in terms of the lineup of the band, Be Bop Deluxe over the years has had a revolving door policy in terms of members in the band. But for this release, you have Bill Nelson on lead vocals, guitars, harmonica, tubular bells, percussion, and he came up with the cover concept. Andy Clark on keyboards, Charlie Tumahai, oh, sorry, I hope I said that correctly. Charlie Tumahai on bass guitar and backing vocals and percussion, Simon Fox on drums and percussion, and they were joined by Ian Nelson on alto sax on Ships in the Night, and orchestral arrangements on 2 of the tracks, Like an Old Blues and Crystal Gazing, is provided by Andrew Powell. Now, there are 10 tracks in total throughout the album. Most of the tracks range in length from 2 minutes and change to 4 minutes and change. There is one track that is listed at 5 minutes and 16 seconds, but that's the longest track. So a pretty short album. As I usually say, at 39 minutes and 47 seconds, perfect for LP, probably too short for CD. And yeah, I've listened to this album about 4 or 5 times, and I'm still trying to sort of figure out musically where this band is coming from. It's a very eclectic sound, very eclectic taste in terms of, musical arrangements and all that. Now, the album starts off with the track Fair Exchange at 4 minutes and 49 seconds. And the amount notes I have here You have a slow build of guitars on the intro, and then it launches into a frenetic drum and guitar passage with wonderful piano that comes, in and out, and just, beautifully done. Very fluid piano passages that come in. An additional use of percussion, by the way, use of bongos. And when the guitar does come in, the tone on the guitar is really thick, really full of harmony on the guitar. It's a multi-section piece. And at one point you do hear a marching time section that comes in. And in my notes, I also have here, in terms of comments, all but the kitchen sink, meaning there's everything that's going into this track. A lot of different guitar passages and just a lot of different sections that are sort of, I guess you'd say, spliced together, but made up, for an interesting listen. Up next is a track called Heavenly Homes at 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Probably one of the heaviest tracks on the album in terms of the drumming. And my notes have your plodding drums, nice acoustic guitar, and subtle strings on this piece. Again, great guitar tone. I do like Bill Nelson's guitar work on this album, and a lot of wonderful piano. In this track, you have great descending piano runs that come in, and a nice dueling guitar solo on the end of the track. Track three, Ships in the Night, 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Um, One of the more accessible tracks on the album. I can see why Harvest and EMI picked this as a single. It is one of the more accessible tracks. Again, clocking in at just 4 minutes and 3 seconds. I'm going to have common guitar chords on the intro, panning synth passages that come in, quick musical stabs, uh, on the arrangement. Nice sax passage on this, great saxophone use, alto sax, I should say. In my notes, I have your Pop Confection. Again, this is one of the more accessible tracks picked as a single for the album. And I do hear a bit of a ska reggae vibe on this track. Wonderfully done. And I should also say, too, that all of these tracks segue into one another. So it does create a nice um, continuous listen experience for the album. Continuing on, track four is a track called Crying to the Sky, clocking in at 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Um, and wonderful track. Starts off with rain and thunder effects. Nice shimmering guitar and synth passages that come in. Really good thick guitar tone on the solo again. And with this track, Bill Nelson, sorry, is sort of toying with the use of feedback on the solos. Not Jimi Hendrix territory, but you know, um, tastefully done, not overly used, but again, tastefully done. And again, there's a wonderful guitar solo on the outro of the track. Track five up next is a track called Sleep That Burns, the lengthiest track on the album. 5 minutes and 16 seconds. Starts off with an alarm clock going off. It's continuing with multi-layered harmony, guitar and piano, a passage that comes in. Really good chugging rhythm guitar passage that comes in. Multi-section piece. Really good intricate acoustic guitar and piano. Dramatic guitar chord crashes that come in. Subtle lead guitar notes. And when I heard this track, for me, it was like it was a piece of music that you would hear on "Bad Out of Hell" from Meatloaf. That kind of feel, um, just really interesting. Track six is a song called "Beauty Secrets" at 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Great acoustic guitar passages, subtle piano that's underpinning the track, and wonderful subtle use of organ in this song. Um, Track seven is a piece called Life in the Air Age at 3 minutes and 59 seconds. In my notes, I have percussive intro, use of bongos for additional percussion. And they do use a spiral effect on the guitar and really good, again, strong guitar tone on the soloing for this piece. And again, I do like Bill Nelson's guitar work, I will say. Um, he's a fantastic guitar player. Track eight is a piece called like like an old blues. Okay. 3 minutes and 27 seconds. It's one of the more guitar-driven tracks. There is a shuffle drum pattern that comes in, and wonderful use of harmonica on the solo for this piece. Track 9 is a track called Crystal Gazing. Okay, one of the two tracks featuring orchestral arrangements by Andrew Powell. 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And again, in my notes, use of string and acoustic guitar. Uh, Again, use of spiral effect on the guitar. Dramatic strings that come in. It's a really textured piece of music. Wonderfully done. And wonderful use of horns, you know. The album ends off with track number 10, Blazing Apostles, 4 minutes and 29 seconds. In my notes, I have here heavy use of rhythm guitar, textures of overlapping guitars, panning guitars, left and right channel. It is a guitar-driven track overall, and it ends with phone ringing. Um, uh, you know, and you hear someone pick up the phone at the front desk of the hotel, answering, Blazing Apostles Hotel, how can I help you? On repeat, right? It's a very interesting track. Now, that's the end of the album. Again, it's a very short album, 39 minutes and 47 seconds. And again, in trying to label Be Bop Deluxe, the tags art rock and prog pop were, you know, tacked on to this album and the overall musical style of the band. And I gotta say, yeah, I mean, it fits. Bill Nelson's vocal delivery is very unique in terms of his use of harmonies and stuff on lead vocals. Um, Yeah, I have to sit with this band some more. Again, I didn't know that Be Bop Deluxe existed until about 3 years ago. And when we did the album anniversaries a few months back, and we covered this album, it was a very interesting listen. A lot of different musical styles, definitely pop oriented, uh, uh, also rock oriented, but there was also some 50s type of influence going on, especially with the use of piano on the arrangements. All right. So please let me know what you think of Sunburst Finish from Be Bop Deluxe. And please put down in the comments below your opinion of this album. And yeah, I mean, again, it was a brand new experience for me. I'm still trying to, in my mind, trying to label what this band is in terms of the musical style, which is unusual for me. I can usually sort of pick out whether it's progressive rock or pop or rock, but with this band, it's been a bit of a challenge. Okay, so please put down in the comments below your opinion on this album and whether or not you like this album or not. Um, and again, it's quite interesting to find out that this band, although they were critically successful, the darlings of the critics, commercially, they never really took off. They were just sort of under the radar. Again, so again, tell me your opinion of this album, or what is your favorite Be Bop Deluxe album? Okay, Axe Victim, or Futurama, or any of the other 5 albums that they released. Okay, so that's it for now. Please click like and subscribe, and do hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content I've got coming up. We are now on X, so please follow us on X, and I will see you again on the Music Den. Bye for now.